Does my hair look good? We're good. Hey, hi guys. Hey, my name's Matt. Back for round dose of our podcast, I guess. So, if you didn't tune in last week, my name is Matt. Lambrex, go to Laurier, like the Leafs. Just one before I die. It's cheap knockoff, but whatever. So yeah, the first podcast went well. Um, if you haven't checked it out yet, still up. I think it did okay. 200 some views. I was pretty happy with it. So now we're back for round two, and there's a lot of good suggestions. And I thought we'd start today off with some fan mail from you guys. So first one, shout out to my buddy Jimmy. Facebook, I see you. The big thing I took away from that is you can tell they took his advice to heart. I got some other cool stuff. So one of my friends hit me up, and his whole thing was, I should make a list of things I should say, just to keep on track. And I know some people out there aren't as serious hockey people as me, I guess. No offense. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's your deal. It's your deal. No disrespect. So, some of the simpler stuff I can explain. Again, you guys tell me what you want to listen to. I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about until someone tells me otherwise. So, but yeah, so I made a list of things that I wanted to go down. Definitely, that's what I took away from that suggestion. So today, I have no idea what order I'm going to go in, but let's be honest. But I'd like to talk about the Kitchener Rangers. That's a big thing, the hometown guys. Mitch Marner, because I know he's exploded lately with points. He's going to get paid. And we got the Hart Trophy conversation, because obviously everybody's been talking about it. Lucan, Craft Hockeyville, shout out to them. Talk about them a little bit. The Sedins and NCAA March Madness, if we get time. Those are just a couple little plug-ins. And Columbus, again, if we have time. And the last piece of fan mail that I received, it says, where is it? All right, here we go. Last piece of fan mail. I know nothing about hockey, but I watched your whole podcast, and it was cool. And to people like that, I appreciate you. So, I want to talk about Kitchener. So, the Rangers, first round of the OHL playoffs is now finito, complete. So, if we're looking at the bracket here, the Hamilton Bulldogs defeated the Ottawa 67s. Barrie Colts put out Mississauga, Kingston. Honestly, the OHL playoffs this year, for the most part, the higher seeds won. Not too many upsets. Niagara, the Sioux Greyhounds. Oh, man, if you haven't seen those two goals that they scored on that poor goalie yet, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough stopping them. Kitchener, we'll get to that. 4-2 over Guelph. Sarnia, 4-2 over Windsor. Congrats to Spitfires. Memorial Cup champs last year. They stripped it down. They fought valiantly. And, hey, good on them. Good on the team. Good on the staff. Owen Sound sweeps the Knights. That's all I got to say about that. But, all right, so back to Kitchener. We had the big rivalry. Down the highway lives Guelph. I have a lot of friends that go to school at the University of Guelph. I have a buddy whose family was season ticket holder, so little trash talk going on there. But so, let me bring up the Kitchener Rangers player statistics. So, first round, Kitchener takes 2-0 lead. They let Guelph get back into it. Guelph took the next two. Kitchener closed it out. Game 1 of round 2 actually goes tonight against Sarnia. So, the first round stats, the big line for the Rangers definitely got it done. So, Logan Brown, Ottawa Senators draft pick. We got Adam Mascarin. He's a Panthers draft pick, but I saw the other day he informed the team that he was not going to be signing with him. And honestly, it's a big prospect loss. Florida still has, I don't know when there's a deadline where players that they can re-enter the draft. So I know he's eligible for the draft. He doesn't sign, but he's a scorer, boy. This guy. I remember when they drafted him, he played a couple games for the Georgetown Raiders. I remember he was right after Chychrun. When Sarnia drafted Chychrun first overall, Jakob Chychrun, if you're not aware, now playing for the Arizona Coyotes, finished strong. Clayton Keller, my guy. But no, so Logan Brown, Adam Masker, and Cole Sherwood, the big line for the Kitchener Rangers. So Logan Brown led the way with 13.6 games, so +7. Connor Brown, he asked me to explain plus minus to him, but I'm going to put them on blast right now. So plus minus, if you're on the goal or if you're on the ice, there's a goal scored. You get a plus. If you're on the ice, there's a goal scored on your team. That's a minus. So I got a lot of minuses in my day. Just ask my friends. The big plus minus. It's a big deal for Matty. So no, the big line definitely got it done for the Rangers. Logan Brown, 13 points. Adam Mascarin, 11. 4 goals from Mascarin. Cole Sherwood. Man, this guy was a great pickup. I know the Knights had him for a while. He was kind of buried on their chart for a while. He's a Blue Jackets prospect. They picked him up from Flint. I know they gave up. The Rangers had stockpiled a lot of picks for a while, so it's not going to hurt them. Let's see. Giovanni Smith, deadline pickup from Guelph, actually. The Red Wings draft pick. Giovanni, big boy, likes to throw his weight around. I know there was one game. I don't know if it was 3 or if it was 4. But I read on Twitter that he took a couple bad penalties, so he's a good player, but he plays on the edge. Connor Bunnaman, the captain, 5.6 games, so respectable. Again, I saw on Twitter before the big game, and I was listening on the radio. The Wi-Fi here is kind of spotty, so that kind of killed the vibe for listening on the radio. But so no, Connor Bunnaman, they were talking Game 6. They expected a lot out of him. I know the Rangers kind of blew the Storm out in the last game. Well, I don't know if I'd say blow, but they put up a couple points. So I don't know if he put up any points in that. Logan Stanley, Jets first rounder. Big boy, 5 points, 6 games. It's respectable. I mean, he's not the most offensive guy in the world. He's a big 6'8", 6'7". So, that's pretty that's what you expect. Throughout the rest of the lineup, let's see here. You got Greg Morales, 2 points in 6 games. Again, I haven't seen any of the playoff games live, so I would like to think that maybe you'd like to see a little bit more from Morales, and because just last year I knew he has more. He's a good player, so maybe I don't know. Again, I don't know what role he's slotted into. And now for the goalies, let's see. So Mario Kalina, I know Luke Richardson made one relief appearance of Kalina because he got lit up at the beginning of Game 3, I think. Maybe, no, Game 4. Game 4, I believe. So, Mario Kalina, the Rangers picked him up from Sudbury when they let go of Luke Opilka, or Olipka, earlier in the year, however you want to pronounce it. So, Mario Kalina has effectively taken the reins in net for the Rangers playoff run. He started 6 games, and he had a goals against average of .308, apparently. So it's not bad. So 167 saves. So that's pretty respectable. The Rangers, again, that top line is basically what's carrying them. Connor Hall, he went down this year. That's a big loss. Veteran defenseman on the blue line. So that's going to hurt them. Honestly, though, I didn't plan on talking about this, but I kind of, just out of pure curiosity, the Sioux Greyhounds, man. That roster. I know Noel Carroll's on that team. He's from Strathroy. He's traded from Guelph last year. I remember I saw his first game as a Sioux Greyhound in Kitchener. So just pull up the OHL League leaders here. So Aaron Luchuk of the Barrie Colts, 14 points in the playoffs so far. He was on the Windsor squad last year. I believe, let's just click on him. I know his rights are owned by somebody who signed as a free agent. I'm not 100% sure. Ottawa. So Ottawa signed him as a free agent. So yeah, Luchuk, not a bad addition for the Sens team. Gabe Velarde, he's up there for Kingston. He's a Kings draft pick. Dmitry Solikov, Cliff Poo. So you got a good number of players actually leading in points. Logan Brown leading in assists. Matthew Strome also up there in assists. For goals, you have Boris Kachuk leading the way for the aforementioned Sioux Greyhounds. So, I just want to see here. Go to the Sioux website. Because I honestly want to see how ridiculous these stats. I haven't seen the stats yet for the playoffs or for the season. I know they're loaded. What's the roster? Might have to. Okay. Sioux Greyhound player stats. Again, sorry, it's just me. It sucks, but hey, you guys gotta deal with it. Until someone wants to come on and do this with me. But actually, interestingly enough, I was talking to a couple people. Might have a couple people on the show, so we got a couple leads. Alright, so 2018 regular season, select a team. We are going to select the Sioux Greyhound and see what they bring to the table. So Morgan Frost. Wow, Morgan Frost. Okay, so Morgan Frost, Flyers prospect. Yes, so he had 112 points in 62 games. Wow, okay. So Taylor Radish, he was on the World Junior team. Erie Otters prospect. He played for Erie, so he went to the Memorial Cup last year. Taylor Radish has 39 points in 28 games with the Sioux. You have Boris Kachuk, the aforementioned 42 goals in the regular season in 58 games, so he finished with 85 points. You have Jack Kapaka, he's in there. Hayden Verbeek, I've heard that he's kind of, one of those key secondary pieces they have on the team. Jordan Sandbrook, Connor Timmins, and Rasmus Sandin. That's pretty solid defensive core. Jordan Sandbrook came over from Erie. I don't know if he was with Taylor Radish or not, but they both came from Erie. Connor Timmins, believe, was a second-round draft pick last year. Rasmus Sandin projected to go in the top 2 rounds this year. So this is all around, and still Noah Carroll's in there. And then, you're basically getting into, your fringe players or your role players. So the Sioux are pretty dangerous. So that's our OHL report for the day. So now Mitch Marner, the big story. So Marner has been hot. Obviously, I don't know the whole all the numbers, but even just the eye test, this guy is on fuego. So the big, I know it's been debated, has Marner separated himself from Willie Nylander? I mean, Marner is the engine that drives the power play. And I don't know, man, is Willie more of a complimentary piece than Mitch? I don't know, because you think you all these guys, you're, again, down the line, you're going to pay them, so nobody's getting more money than Austin. That's pretty much nailed down. I don't know how. Again, I'm lucky I'm not Lou or Kyle Dubas. You got to get these guys to nail down a number, and I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh man, we're gonna lose one of them, and I mean, you got to enjoy it now, but I mean, it's tantalizing if you keep the 3 of them. Again, JVR, we talked about it before. Guys just crushing it. Andreas Janssen continuing to impress, even though the Leafs lost in Jersey last night. 1 game left, but they did clinch a playoff spot. They're in 3rd. I know I've been on record saying I'd rather play Boston. I told one of my friends that. Kind of flip-flopped. Tampa struggling a little bit more so right now. Boston, that Game 7 still hurts. Bergeron, Marchand, I don't know if I want to go through that. Rask I'm okay with, but that whole that top line is a whole different animal, man. Brad Marchand can beat you in a lot of ways. Patrice Bergeron can beat you in a lot of ways. So, but back to Leafs, Mitch Marner. My Mitch Marner story, actually. So obviously, me not being a Knights fan, obviously, I did not want the Leafs to draft Mitch Marner. I wanted them to draft Noah Hannafin. My buddy, my best friend, he was on the Mitch Marner bandwagon. He was like, oh, I hope the Leafs screw it up and don't take him. And so they took him, and he scored against Boston last year. I was like, all right, this guy has arrived. So obviously, I'll be honest, I wasn't always a Mitch Marner fan, but I've been converted. So I remember me and my uncle, we would go down to games in Sarnia because it's only a 45-minute drive from my hometown, Strathroy. Again, shout out to the Strath Vegas. Gotta give that shout out every video. So that happened. So we're down in Sarnia. We're with my best friends there as well. I remember this is the Domi Dvorak team. So this London Knights, I think that was I don't know if Kachuk. I don't know if that was the Mem Cup team or the year before. But anyways, Marner's there. And I remember we're watching the game and it's nothing special. I remember Sarnia put up the lead. The Knights ended up winning the game, and I remember it was halfway through the 3rd, and we're kind of Marner puts up an assist, and we're like, all right, that's like his like second point of the game. Probably I think it was on a Domi goal or something. But anyways, so Marner, and then he comes out for the second star, and he had 5 assists, and it was just like nobody noticed it, and it was. Again, it's not the NHL, it's the OHL, but that was kind of like, all right, like this Mitch Marner guy, like, okay, he's a player, It was just, it was a quiet 5-point night, and sometimes your superstar players just they get it done, but they don't get it. I mean, it's hard when you're in Toronto. I mean, it's different being in OHL Sarnia than Toronto, but Mitch just he gets it done. He's hey man, I'm not gonna say Mitch Marner's not a good player because hey, he's proven it. He's almost I hope he hits 70 points this year. He's playing like a star right now considering how slow he started the year. And like I said, he drives that second power play unit. So again, I heard the debate, the whole JVR thing. Could you replace JVR on the power play? Just because if Mitch Marner's the engine that drives it, how valuable is JVR? Again, go back, watch the last video. I like JVR. Again, don't know if there's room for him. But that's yeah. I hope they keep him. He's great on the power play, but Marner has proven that he drives that power play. And honestly, I think Kapanen or Janssen could probably slot in on that power play spot. They're not JVR, but again, when Marner's kind of everything, he's quarterbacking it and everything's running through him. The guy just has such incredible vision that I don't know, man. I don't want to go far as to say my grandma could score out there, but man, he sees things that not. He's got pretty good vision, so we'll give him that. So the Hart Trophy, very debated trophy. So the Hart Trophy. I want to look up the definition. I will look up the definition of the Hart Trophy because there's been some debate over the wording. Hart Trophy definition. So there's been it's what most valuable player to your team, I believe is the actual. Excuse me. It's the actual. So the Hart Trophy. Oh great, go on Wikipedia. So the Hart Trophy judge is annually named to the player judged most valuable to his team. So the big debate is this year who is the most valuable to his team, and there's the big debate whether you have to make the playoffs or not make the playoffs. So we're on the pretty shitty website as it used to be good. So NHL.com is set up really weird if you want to find stuff. It used to be so much better. But okay, so I have the stats in front of me. Second overall in points, some people may find surprising. Claude Giroux sits at 99 points on the year. Number one, no surprises, 106 points. Connor McJesus. Going down the list here, Malkin, McKinnon's on there. Taylor Hall, obviously, you've heard a lot. Anze Kopitar, who, if I pull up the Kings stats, I've heard that Anze Kopitar is destroying the second place. I think it's Drew Doughty, and he's like 40 points above him. Ovechkin, 47, just insane. I hope Ovi hits 800 goals, man. He's just, and again, stealing from the Steve Dangle podcast, like I like to do, but how can you? There's an argument to be made that Ovi deserves the Hart Trophy as well. He won't. I don't think he'll get it, just because the field is wide open this year. So Ovi, he's gonna win the Rocket Richard, I think. I don't know where Line is here. Let's go check out goals. See who's got the most. So Line is 3 points back. 3 goals back. So watch Ovi go out and score a hat trick just to hit 50 in his last game. But so Ovi's gonna win the Rocket Richard. But points wise, I mean, if you use that to judge, I'm pretty sure we can find 3 candidates for most valuable to his team within the top 20 point scorers of the year. So McDavid, I don't know, because McDavid 106 points. His team's not making the playoffs. So I mean, I've watched a couple Oilers games since they've been eliminated, and like this guy's still giving it his all. So you got to give him props for that. He's not mailing it in. Man, I don't know. Claude Giroux is... That's actually surprising. Kucherov for so long, everybody was like, oh, it's Kucherov, it's Kucherov. And I think a lot of people discredit him that, again, he's got stammer. You can make the same argument for the Batman-Robin duo of Malkin and Kessel, but Malkin's just, wow, man. He's 77 games played, 97 points, so, hey, that's impressive any way you slice it. I mean, so is McDavid's here, so is... but I don't know, man. The three that I like on this list, Claude Giroux, I knew he was having a good year, but wow, that's a phenomenal year. He's been, I don't know. Claude Giroux is one of those guys. Is he a superstar, or is he just a very good player? He's had a couple not so good years recently, and he's getting up there. He's not the youngest guy in the world, but hey, man, when he's on, he's on. That whole playoff debate. Taylor Hall's team, officially, the New Jersey Devils clinched a playoff spot last night by defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Taylor Hall will be going to the playoffs for the first time in his career. The Oilers traded him because apparently he wasn't a winner, or that was one of the reasons. But yeah, so Taylor Hall is going to the playoffs. Book it. He's going to the playoffs. So I like Taylor Hall as one of the three choices for the Hart. Nathan MacKinnon, yes, because he's basically powered that Colorado team. His chances are helped if they make the playoffs, and I don't know, man. I hope they do, because last time the Avs made the playoffs, they were exciting. They're missing Stastny and obviously Matt Duchene from that last playoff team, and it's, they bottomed out last year. But Nathan MacKinnon is explosive. Gabriel Landeskog is, I think he'll do great in the playoffs. He's built for the playoffs. But they're hurt and Varlamov's out. I don't know how good their depth is, but if they end up playing Vegas in the first round, it'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot more fun than seeing St. Louis play. I don't know. I hope Colorado makes it. If St. Louis makes it, I'm not going to cry over it. But Nathan MacKinnon definitely deserves some votes. And then I'm torn for my last pick, actually. Again, Claude Giroux or Kopitar. And just what I've heard, and I know Kopitar, again, you can say what you want about Claude Giroux. They're both phenomenal players. If you just want to start a team, they're both great building blocks. I just think Kopitar, because I've heard that he's so far up on Doughty, because he's a centerman, and again, he led the King. I mean, he didn't drag them. He is Drew Doughty, but the Kings have been out for a while. Been out for a while. The Kings have missed the playoffs the last couple of years, and he led them back. I mean, he has a cast around him, but this is historically a low-scoring team. And 92 points, man. That's 1.14 points per game, I believe, is the stat. Yeah, points per game, 1.14. So that's pretty impressive. Leading the league in points per game, no surprise. Connor McDavid, 1.31. Nathan MacKinnon, 1.3. So McKinnon is not far behind Connor McDavid. So only 73 games played. Okay, Nathan MacKinnon basically trying to will his team into the playoffs. So Nathan MacKinnon definitely he gets a vote from me. That points per game, I knew it was high, but wow, that's pretty great. So you give it there. Taylor Hall 1.22 and Anze Kopitar 1.14. Again, his is the lowest of the three, but I think those are my three. You could easily put Connor McDavid in. You could easily put in Claude Giroux. You could easily put in Malkin. You could make the argument for Blake Wheeler. Like I said, for Ovechkin. Crosby never wins this award as much as he probably should, because it's Sidney Crosby. Let's be honest. John Tavares is in the top 20 in scoring, but he's not going to win it this year. So it's a wide open field this year, honestly. McKinnon's points per game, that's pretty impressive. And especially if he gets him into the playoffs, he would have been the engine that drove them in. They didn't have Matt Duchene. It's basically him and Landeskog up front. And I love Gabriel Landeskog. He's been a Kitchener Ranger. He's been one of my favorites. But at this point, we know what Gabriel Landeskog is. He's not gonna score 100 points. He's their captain. Still relatively young, which always shocks me that he was the youngest captain in history at the time. And you're following in some pretty big shoes. I guess McDavid overtook Landeskog as the youngest captain in NHL history. But prior to that, it was Sidney Crosby, and obviously we know what Sidney Crosby does. He's Sidney Crosby. So expectations are there. But I think, again, this is a team, Colorado, that nobody expected last year to really do anything. So they kind of bottomed out, and McKinnon's led them back to hopefully the promised land. I mean, they got one game left. So it's do or die, Avs and Blues, and next time we shoot the podcast, we'll definitely something to discuss. So I wanted to talk about I don't know if I even mentioned it, but I want to talk about the Raptors. Again, I'm a hockey guy, so I don't even fully comprehend the world of basketball, but the Raptors are exciting. The Raptors are in first place, and the Raptors need some love. I think all of Canada. I mean, I don't know. As someone who, I mean, there's hockey teams here, obviously, and I'm a diehard Leafs fan. But there's only one baseball team in Canada. Go Jays, by the way. Season started, so the Jays have actually had an okay start. They beat the Yankees a couple times, but I think they split the series. I don't know what their record's at now, but Donaldson, I know drama there. Is he going to come back? But anyways, there's only one baseball team in Canada professionally. Or Major League Baseball team, I should say. Bring back the Expos, I hope. And then there's the Raptors. They took away the Grizzlies. But okay, so the U.S. they don't get coverage here. There's the whole playoff thing, and I don't know. Is it a mental thing with the Raptors? Because obviously the Raptors are, as of right now, in first place. They're coming off they beat the Celtics the other night. If you're unfamiliar with basketball, the Raptors are number 2, the Raptors are number 1, the Celtics are number 2. I believe Cleveland is number 3, but there's a mess of teams between the 4 and the 8 spot. And the whole thing is nobody wants Cleveland. And now with Kyrie out for the Celtics, Kyrie Irving, again, if you don't know that, asked for a trade. He wanted to be the man. He was LeBron's sidekick. Now he's alone. Blew at his knee. He's done for the year. Gordon Hayward, another key part of the Celtics, injured in the first game of the year. So the Celtics are hurt. The Celtics are vulnerable this year. So Danny Ainge, their GM, Brad Stevens, the coach, they're looking towards next year. Kyrie's a superstar. Gordon Hayward's a superstar. You don't want to risk injury this year when you're unsure. I mean, next year, is LeBron going to be in Cleveland? Even if he is, he's another year older. And I know we all keep expecting LeBron to fall off a cliff. LeBron's one of the guys, I'll be honest. I don't like LeBron, but he's one of the guys like Tom Brady. He's just one of those guys that you have to, after a certain point, they're winners. They win. You might not like them, but there's respect there. So, the Raptors, I pull up the stats. The 2017-2018 team comparison. The Toronto Raptors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because if we want to win the East, guess who we're going through? We're going through the Cleveland Cavaliers. And in a way, I don't know. Because I saw a stat, I think it was on The Jump the other day, show on TSN, that the Raptors basically what the stat said was the Raptors' record is exaggerated by the fact that most of their wins have come against non-playoff teams. So obviously that stat's a little concerning. I think it would concern anyone. But a win's a win, and you got to win against some bad teams, and there's some bad teams in the NBA. Not an untrue statement. So the Raptors are number 1 in the East, but they're not. Cleveland's still being treated like the number 1 seed. So, like Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, their playoff struggles, well documented. But you don't know until you know, until you're there. If it's a mental thing, I mean, they have to. There's nobody in Kyle and DeMar's head, and that's a tough one. And I can't say one or the other. They're both, again, as a Raptors fan, DeMar DeRozan, what he's done this year, nothing short of amazing. Again, the whole bench mob thing, Pirtle, Siakam, great defender, DeLon Wright, CJ Miles spread the floor. So they have some good pieces. The bench is obviously the big story this year, but it's the old adage, your stars got to be stars. So if the Raptors have a chance to beat the Cavs, DeMar and Kyle are going to have to play like DeMar and Kyle. And if Kyle Lowry doesn't show up, then what do you do? You have to lean on DeMar, and the big thing is that Toronto can match up against Cleveland, but they can't match up against LeBron. That's the whole thing, right? they have LeBron James, so that makes them better. And LeBron has been to the Eastern Finals in the last 7 years in a row, last 8 years in a row. So you can't really like LeBron he's the king until he's dethroned basically. And I mean Golden State is on the other side, and Golden State's the big bad team that everybody wants to take down, and the whole Rockets thing, that's a whole other story. But the Raptors, I think just because they're Canadian, they don't get the press, and they've lost to Cleveland, and there's that history there. But I think it's a baseball thing, but for one game or for one at bat or for one free throw, you throw all the percentages out the window. It's you either make it or you make it or you don't. So I really hope the Raptors. I want to hey man, I'm a fringe basketball guy. I've just recently got into it. I'll say it. I'm not a diehard guy. Never been. March Madness kind of made me a little more of a basketball person. But it's hard not to cheer for a Toronto team when they're doing well. So the Raptors, amen. We the North, we want a title. Hey, I'll tune into Raptors games now because hey, there's something to watch. There's something to watch now. It's not Toronto sports. It's a great time. As Drake said, it's what a time to be alive, man. The Jays, they were on a bit of a run, so we'll see. Vladdy Guerrero and Bo Bichette, the two big Jays prospects coming up. It's an exciting time for sure for Toronto sports. But yeah, no, back to the comparison here, just to wrap up the point. So Toronto has 56 wins. Cleveland has 49. The win percentage for Toronto, 700. Or so they're over 700 win percentage. Cleveland 620 win percentage. At home, Toronto's 32-7. So obviously you want to lock up first, which is after they beat the Celtics, they widen the gap. So I think that helps a lot. But yeah, you want home court advantage. You want that comfort for your younger guys, especially in the playoffs. Guys like Siakam, guys like Van Vliet, guys that haven't they weren't on the team 2 years ago where they ran to the conference final, and even that was heartbreaking because you really wanted them to kind of stick it to LeBron, and Biyombo did for a little. But so they played 3 times this year. Cleveland has won twice, and they won the 2 most recent meetings that were in the last couple of weeks. But the first meeting of the year, I know Toronto absolutely stomped on Cleveland. So 133-99. So again, Toronto has the capability to beat Cleveland. It's just, how are you going to contain LeBron? It's $1 million question that only apparently the Warriors have been able to figure out. And again, I don't know if they really figured it out more so than they were just like, Kevin Durant, come to our team. So again, go Raps. Nothing but the best in the playoffs. Represent Canada well. And if you guys want me to talk more Raps, hey man, I'm still learning about basketball too. So more than happy to talk some hoops. Speaking of hoops, NCAA March Madness. Dante DiVincenzo, the talk of the town. The Villanova Wildcats steamrolled their way to the NCAA March Madness men's playoff basketball championship. Shout out to the women's bracket as well. Notre Dame winning. That was wild. Last minute shot. The name of the name of the girl who made the shot. It escapes me at this moment, but go check it out. Notre Dame winning the national championship. Good on them. So the actual March Madness, my bracket sucked. If you picked Virginia, I'm sorry. And I picked Virginia. And if you picked Michigan State, I'm sorry. I picked Michigan State to meet Virginia in the final. So look how that turned out. To all the guys that picked Nova, they demolished everybody. I didn't watch the final. I know I call myself a sports fan. Sad. But anyways, so Nova steamrolled their way to a national title. Jay Wright, I believe, that's his name. Anyways, the coach on Villanova, they won 2 of the last 3. But this one just wasn't even a contest. I believe they beat every team by double digits. They're up there with the greats. So March Madness, congratulations to the winner of our March Madness pool. I don't even know who you are. I just know I didn't win because I never win and my team always sucks. So that's always pretty fun. So last we'll swap back to hockey. Done with hoops for right now. The Sedins, great career. Congratulations last night. I believe it was Daniel from Hendrick. look it up on YouTube while I'm talking. But no, so the Sedins' career has come to a close. They played their last game in Vancouver last night. And even you could tell when they came off the ice, they were kind of. You could tell, they're the shy guys, and they're very personal, and that's what you heard. But they're very classy individuals. But you can kind of see they're reluctant. But good on them. I know, again, same thing with Luongo. I said last week, I was not a Sedin fan. I could not cheer for any Vancouver Canucks because my brother Zach was a diehard Canucks fan, and I could not give him that satisfaction. So I hated the Sedins. Again, I cheered for the Bruins. When Marchand popped the Sedins in the face, I was loving it. But it's, again, over time, it's one of those things where you kind of, again, you respect. The Sedins, I remember that game against Calgary where they made that the drop pass, where it was a tip pass. And I think it was Daniel through the legs from Hendrick, and those guys, it's just magic to see what they could do on the ice. So their vision was insane. Even McDavid said they have the Sedin tip or whatever it's called. The slap pass, very much a Sedin thing. They had that insane, stretch where Vancouver was on top of the league, where they were just dominant. Just two wizards, great hockey players. Classy all the way. It's unfortunate. I was thinking, they're kind of like Sundin. They never went out with a cup. I didn't want to see Vancouver win one, but if they would have went somewhere else, maybe. But at the same time, it's their legacy. They're Vancouver Canucks. They love the city of Vancouver, and they said it themselves. They want to stay involved in that community. And hey, good on them. Classy individuals, Hall of Fame guys, and hey, Hendrick Daniel Sedin. After all the years of me being on your case. You guys, I was chirping you guys for being soft, my brother, but hey, great career, and nothing but the best in retirement. You'll never see this, but all the same. We might get time to Columbus, but anyways, Lucan, Craft Hockeyville, the city of Lucan. It's about 15 minutes from my grandma's house, 35-minute drive for me. I recently tried out for the Exeter Hawks junior C team in Lucan, so that's the last time I was on the ice there, was this summer. Logan Couture's from there. I played Silver Stick there, regional. I had a couple games there, I think. It was like Exeter, Centralia, Lucan, kind of, I think, whatever. But anyways, good old barn, Lucan Irish, shout out to them. That arena, it's $250,000 of arena upgrade, so I know the town will appreciate that. It was really cool to see on Hockey in Canada. I remember I was very interested. I voted for Lucan. I don't know, 10 times or something, but good on Lucan. I hopefully will get a chance. I'd like to go see the game because they get part of the prize is you get an NHL preseason game in your town. So, I mean, that'd be awesome. I don't know if old Matt here will, I'm in university, so we'll see if I can find the time and the money, but that'd be pretty cool. So, yeah, I think I think we'll call it a day for now. Try to hit you guys back up with another podcast next week. It's gonna be tough just because I got exams coming up. I put this one off as long as I could. I know I'm lazy. But if you enjoyed this podcast, please like this video. Please subscribe. Please share. Again, I'm not really doing it for the views, but it's kind of cool to see that view count go up, and I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying kind of just doing my thing and talking. And so any more suggestions that anybody has, I cut my hair for you guys, so this better podcast thing better work out, or else. No, just kidding. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, and if anyone wants to be on this, if anyone has any suggestions, again, hit me up. Thank you very much for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and go Leafs go, and just one before I die, baby. Playoff time. Let's go.